how can or what can sellers do to prepare for this or to embrace this change?
So there's one method is if you want to go into the Amazon console, you can go product by product in there, and either manually change these or use Amazon's tools, which will kind of show you a preview of just what they're going to change it to. So if you do nothing, that is what your content is going to change to. I've seen I've actually gone into some of my own accounts. You can go in and preview this right now, even though the change doesn't take effect until July 27th. And I've looked at a few of them, and I mean, they get it right on the compliance side. It
Yeah.
is the character counts that they want, but I definitely think that there's aspects of the highlights that they put in there that are maybe not the order or the exact things that you want to highlight on there. So it's I think that's an interesting first step just to see what some of these will look like. And I think this is a big reason, in general, why here at Tegometrics, we've built products like RE Catalog to be able to do this at scale
Yeah.
and not just make those changes that take into account not just structure, but also customer search intent and all of that into the generation,
Mm.
but also importantly gives you a framework to be able to test and see what those changes look like. I think
Right.
the framework that we have for this pre and post view of what your conversion rate, your sales look like after you've made these changes is actually going to be really interesting to start to see. You may see that by making a big change to your title, you have a product where this affects you more than others, maybe, or there's a different way to position the product. But yeah, as a good first step, I would say take a look at
Yep.
what those are going to look like and think about what you want your product titles to look like with this change coming. They're going to force this change on July 27th. Do you want to go and change all your titles heading into one of the biggest e-commerce events of the
Probably
year?
not.
Probably not.
Probably not. No.
So yeah, this is something that in July, ahead of the actual date, we're going to release into the product. But in at this time of the year in general, heading into an event, I don't ever suggest making big listing changes.
Right.
Either you should have made them already, or if not, I'd say leave things where they are. Let Amazon system pull in, do its work from an algorithm standpoint and keep the indexing that you have. And so July is really going to be the time frame to go through and start making these changes.